Hockey prices are starting to cool off while baseball continues to be red hot for many players. Plus, one polarizing NBA player has forged his way into this week's list. I'm breaking it all down for you on this week's Top 5 Cards. Hey everyone, welcome back to another Top 5 Cards Going Up. My name is Tyler Nethercott, better known as Teapot, filling in for Jeff this week. And today's Top 5 is sponsored by Whatnot. Whatnot has awesome live auctions every day and night, starting at just $1 for packs, boxes, breaks, singles, and more. It's a lot of fun, and if you scan the QR code on your screen or use the special link in our show description below, you'll get $15 in free credit when you sign up for Whatnot. Now let's take a look at the overall sports card market with Market Pulse by Market Movers. Over the last 7 days, the SCI 500 index of 500 of the most prominent sports cards is up 0.6%. Over the last 30 days, it is up 1.5%. And since January 1st of this year, it is up 4.4%. The best performing category of cards over the last month is baseball from 1909 to 1939, that little pre-war era, which is up 10.2%. And the worst performing category is basketball from 1979 and prior, which is down 5.7%. As a reminder, the cards you'll see in today's show have gone up in price recently, but they are not necessarily good investments right now. Do your own research and decide which cards you think will go up in value next. All right, starting out this week with our cold card, and it is Lane Hudson, the defenseman of the Montreal Canadiens. Hudson made a major impact in his rookie season with the Canadiens this year. The 21-year-old not only locked down a full-time roster spot, but also put together a historic campaign that drew attention across the league. He finished the regular season with 66 points, including 60 assists, tying Larry Murphy's record for most assists by a rookie defenseman in their rookie season. That mark had stood since the 1980-81 season. Hudson carried his strong play into the postseason, adding 5 assists in 5 games during the Canadiens' first-round series, which ultimately ended in a loss. All of his cards, as tracked by Market Movers, are down 18% collectively over the last 30 days, and we are, of course, going to be looking at his Young Guns, his Upper Deck Young Guns number 229, and you can see pretty much across the board down, most notably on his PSA 10, which over the last 30 days is down 46.1%. And then we've got his PSA 9, which is down 12%. His Raw, which is at $95, is down 12%. And his PSA 8 down to $64.77. That is a 37% decrease over the last 30 days. Not surprising to start seeing a lot of NHL players' prices going down, as happens with pretty much every sports league. They get into the playoffs, there's excitement, and then as teams start to get bounced, those players on those teams' prices start to decline. So be careful with that if you're in the speculation game, and maybe look to buy some of your favorite NHL players as their prices are slipping down over the next few weeks. All right, our investment card of this week is Walter Payton, his 1976 Topps iconic rookie card. Now, obviously, not a lot of introduction needed for somebody like Walter Payton, running back for the Chicago Bears from 1975 to 1987, affectionately known as Sweetness, one of the most iconic and beloved figures in NFL history. Renowned for his durability, his versatility, he became the NFL's all-time leading rusher at the time of his retirement in 1987, finishing with 16,726 rushing yards and 110 touchdowns. Payton was named League MVP and Offensive Player of the Year in 1977. He earned 9 Pro Bowl selections, and he capped his career with a Super Bowl 20 victory. Off the field, he was equally impactful. In 1977, he was honored as NFL Man of the Year for his humanitarian work. The same award was later renamed the Walter Payton NFL Man of the Year Award, recognizing players for excellence both on and off the field. And we're looking at this 1976 rookie card. Many of you, I'm sure, are familiar with this card. In PSA 10 condition, there are just 56 of these. And if we look at the last 3 sales, you can see $41,600 in June of 2024, $66,000, big price spike in December of last year, and most recently $53,700 in February. So only 3 of these in PSA 10 condition having sold in the last year. And I'm looking at the last sale chart here, which you can just see illustrates the massive price difference from a PSA 10 down to a PSA 9. So PSA 9 condition, that'll set you back a little over $4,000. PSA 8.5, which obviously they don't give out a ton of, just under $2,000 on the most recent sale on May 5th. And then a PSA 8, which for my money is probably the best buy on this card, $1,100. having most recently sold on May 25th. So our investment card of this week, Walter Payton in his 1976 rookie card. All right, now it's time to count down those top 5 cards, and at number 5, it is Mike Serota. Not Mike Soroka, Mike Serota, the outfield prospect for the Los Angeles Dodgers. He's gotten a pretty good taste now of high A ball. He was traded from the Reds to the Dodgers in January of 2025 as part of the Gavin Lux deal, and Serota wasted no time turning heads. He tore up single A pitching with a 382, 469, 745 slash line with 9 home runs in 27 games, earning a very quick promotion. And since joining High A Great Lakes, he's picked up right where he left off, going 11 for 20 with a 1.559 OPS through his first 6 games. Now that is a smaller sample size, but suffice it to say, he is taking the lid off of the ball, as they say. All of his cards, as tracked by market movers, are up 71.8% collectively over the last 30 days. And we're starting out with his Bowman draft here. This is his refractor raw. As with many of these prospects, a lot of times they won't necessarily have a ton of graded copies, and so you get these raw versions. We like to look at those because of the sales volume overall. And in the last 30 days, this card has actually sold 20 times, for a card that's numbered to $4.99 is actually quite a few. You can see there's a lot of heat behind this. That card is up 274% over the last 30 days. I can pop open here. We've got his Aqua Lava refractor numbered to $1.99 for sales in the last 30 days. That card is up 97.7%. And then lastly, this is just the base Bowman Chrome draft first auto, raw, non-refractor, just the base auto. This one sold 81 times in the last 30 days and is up to $37. Still pretty affordable if you want to get in on some Serota and you believe in him long-term, 252%. But of course, always do your own research. Our number 5 pick this week, Mike Serota. All right, at number 4 this week, it's a guy that you know I love. I happen to have a few of his cards, and that is Tarik Scooball, the starting pitcher, reigning AL Cy Young Award winner for the Detroit Tigers, my Detroit Tigers. And I want to set the record straight on something. We're all going to do this together. It is Tarik, not Tariq, Tarik. And it is Scooball, not Scooball, not like Screwball, Scooball, Tarik Scooball. There, we fixed it. Everybody out there now knows how to say his name, and you should know how to say his name because he's arguably the best pitcher in baseball. And after capturing the AL Cy Young in 2024, he has continued his dominance into this year's season, and currently he is the favorite to win the AL Cy Young. Max Fried's having a heck of a season, and so are a few others, but Scooball, as of right now, is the Vegas favorite to run it back. He currently ranks second in the majors with 92 strikeouts, and he holds the third best whip at .84. On Sunday, he delivered a historic performance, tossing his first career complete game shutout in a 5-0 win over the Guardians. Scooball struck out 13, walked none, allowed just 2 hits on only 94 pitches, a feat known as a Maddox when a pitcher has a complete game shutout under 100 pitches. He's on pace for 246 strikeouts this year and just 21 walks. That is an 11.7 strikeout to walk ratio. Only 2 pitchers ever in the history of Major League Baseball have ever had higher than an 11-to-1 ratio, and neither of them had over 186 strikeouts total. Phil Hughes and Brett Saberhagen were the other 2, and neither of them, I think Hughes had 186 and Saberhagen had like 147. So typically, when you're seeing pitchers with these high ratios, they typically don't strike out a lot, and they don't walk a lot. They just pitch to contact. Scooball is definitely the exception here. He goes out there and just fires heat and then gets those off-speed pitches in the mix. He's my favorite player. I'll stop talking about him right now. All cards tracked by market movers are up 10.3% collectively over the last 30 days, and we're going to look at a few of those cards right now. We're starting out with his refractor, just like we saw on the prior player. And this one's Pop 58, so not a ton of them in PSA 10 condition, but up 9.1%. So this is a card, again, very iconic, doesn't necessarily sell super often. This one is up slightly over the last month. And then I've got his raw base auto. This card has sold 5 times in the last month. That one is actually up 131% over the last 30 days. And then finally, we've got his Mega Box sort of Mojo refractor here first, Bowman first, non-auto, PSA 10, Pop 327. That one's up 48.6% over the last 30 days. And I wanted to show this because over the last 60 days, basically since the season started, there was actually some heat behind Scooball coming into the year, still carrying a lot of momentum from that big season last year. And as the the Cy Young odds favorite going into the year. And so prices were higher, and then they just started to cool off a little bit. He did have a couple of games this year that were a bit uncharacteristic, including his opening game against the Dodgers. But he has definitely turned it on this season, and he is our number 4 hot card of the week. All right, at number 3 this week, it's a player who's become pretty polarizing, and that is Tyrese Hallebertton, the guard for the Indiana Pacers. Hallebertton was voted by the league, by players in the league this year, as the most overrated, and it seems like he's got a point to prove. The Pacers hold a 2-1 series lead over the Knicks after stealing games 1 and 2 on the road at Madison Square Garden, and Hallebertton delivered a dramatic moment in Game 1, hitting a buzzer beater that bounced off the back iron straight up into the air and then dropped down to force overtime. Initially, they thought the game was over. It looked like a 3. His toe was on the line, not unlike KD some years ago in the Eastern Conference playoffs. And ultimately, they went on to steal that game after it was something like a 99.999% chance of the Knicks winning it in the final minute. The Pacers let a 20-point lead, however, slip away in Game 3, falling 106-100 as the Knicks mounted a late comeback, led by Karl-Anthony Towns. Looking to respond tonight in Game 4, Indiana will again turn to their All-NBA third-team star as Hallebertton continues to shine on the biggest stage. All of his cards, as tracked by market movers, are up 21.2% collectively over the last 30 days. And we're looking at 3 of them here. Pretty iconic rookie cards. This is his Prism Silver PSA 10. This card is up 97.6%, recently having sold for $331. Then we've got his Optic Hollow at $125 in PSA 10, Pop 350. Man, I remember some years ago when there was this raging debate about whether or not the Optic Hollows or the Prism Silvers would be the cards, the rookie cards, long term. Well, pretty big price gap when you look at those 2 cards. If I make those price comparisons, almost a 3-to-1 ratio on the Silvers to the Optic Hollow. And then lastly, a little bit more affordable, I'd say here, if you're a Hallebertton fan. For $30, you can have a PSA 10 Donruss base paper card here. That card is up 104% over the last 30 days. Hallebertton, the antics with his dad, he's back in the box. But, you know, you got to want to have somebody be able to have their parents there rooting them on as long as they can be respectful. We'll see what happens the rest of this series. A lot of drama on both sides in the East and West. Right now, number 3, Tyrese Hallebertton. All right, at number 2 this week, it is Jack Caglianone of the Kansas City Royals. He is their first base prospect, top prospect in their system, and he has experienced a meteoric rise over the past year, going from the number 6 overall pick in the 2024 MLB draft to AAA standout. He, as I said, is the top prospect in the Royals system now, and he's been making noise for AAA Omaha since his promotion on May 19th. He has launched 5 home runs in his first 6 games, including a 459-foot rocket on May 25th, showcasing elite power that looks to be fast-tracking his path to the majors. A recent fan survey shows that most expect his big league debut before the end of the season, and the buzz around Caglianone's arrival in Kansas City continues to build. As somebody who has him in my NA slot waiting in fantasy baseball, I hope those fans are correct. All of his cards tracked by market movers are up 21.8% collectively over the last 30 days, and we've got a sampling of 5 different cards here, including, I'll look at this one, his PSA 10 base auto, Pop 349. This card is just rising, all the way up to $940, 107% increase. 30 days ago, this was $455, and I got to tell you, I am majorly regretting not having picked up some Caglianone. I was staring down the barrel of a pretty significant buy of one of his Bowman Sapphire firsts, and I decided not to go for it, and I am regretting that, as they say. So we've got his purple auto here, numbered to 250 in raw condition. That one's up 41.5%. Looking at his just regular Bowman refractor, a little bit more of an affordable card again. This one is up to $175, a 20.7% increase, but actually this one had dipped down as low as $108. Even if I look at the last 14 days, you can see it's been going up. And then finally, we'll look at his Bowman First, $120 here in PSA 10. That's up 93%. And his Sapphire Raw here up 72.4%. So it's pretty much across the board to the moon with Caglianone's card prices right now. You got to think that will continue at least up to the point if and when he gets that call up. Typically, that's the sell marker. Again, always make your own decisions. We'll see what happens with Caglianone in the majors, but he and Bobby Witt look to be a pretty fun pairing for many years to come. All right, that brings us to our number one hot card this week. But before we get there, this video, as always, this data brought to you by Market Movers. Visit marketmoversapp.com and you can try out Market Movers completely free for 7 days, or you can go out to the App Store and download Market Movers to get you access to all kinds of charts and graphs like this, price movements on over 5 million cards, sales comp data from 11 different marketplaces for any card that has sold online. Go check out Market Movers, download it today, and try it out absolutely free. And without further ado, number one hot card is Pete "Crow" Armstrong, the center fielder for the Chicago Cubs. Armstrong is quickly moving as a breakout star for the Chicago Cubs in the 2025 MLB season. He's slashing .280 with 14 home runs, 48 RBIs, and an .875 OPS, firmly establishing himself as one of the league's top hitters. His power was on full display on May 23rd when he launched 2 home runs, including a go-ahead grand slam in a win over the Reds. Thanks to his elite mix of power, speed, and defense, Crow Armstrong is now in the thick of the NL MVP race, currently ranking second in the majors with a 3.1 WAR, trailing only Aaron Judge, who obviously is in the AL. All of his cards, that is Crow Armstrong's cards, tracked by Market Movers, are up 29.6% collectively over the last 30 days. And we'll start out here. This is his rookie auto raw out of Topps Chrome. His 2024 Topps Chrome Rookie Auto. This card up 135% over the last 30 days. You could have snagged one of these for $100 a month ago on April 27, and now it is up to $235 raw. We've got his Topps Chrome Black Auto Raw here. That one's up to $224, up from $90 just a month ago, 149% increase. Then we've got his Bowman Draft Sapphire Edition PSA 10. This is not the auto, this is just the base Sapphire first. Pop 369. This card was trading for $82.50 on April 27th, most recently having sold for $178. We've got his Home Field Advantage. Big fan of these cards. They're just, fun to own. A little more affordable for many players, but this one having been around $40, $45 a month ago, now most recently up to $92.50. And then lastly, we've got his Topps Chrome Rookie Card Gold, numbered to 2024. That card sold for $64, a 42.2% increase over the last month. Pete Armstrong is one of the most electric players in baseball right now. There's kind of shades and vibes of like Ronald Acuna Jr. Some people probably get mad at me for that comparison, but he is undeniably electric. He can do it all. Very exciting, and he is our number one hot card this week. All right, that does it for this week's top 5 cards going up. Let us know, who were you surprised made the list, and who were you surprised that didn't this week? Always love to read your comments down below. And until next time, happy collecting, keep on investing, and make sure to have fun.